Hello, it's Mrs. Glasson and... What's that? Can you hear that noise? It sounds... Can you hear it? It sounds like... snoring. Should we go and have a look? Actually, let me see if I can just close the door and shut the noise out. Just a minute. See if it makes a difference. Oh, it's so loud. Come on. Oh. Okay. I think that'll do for now. It's better. Okay, rewind. Hello, it's Mrs. Glasson. Welcome, students. And today's tricky words are continual and continuous. And today, something a little bit different. As well as super synonyms and amazing antonyms, I have an exemplary extension activity which will provide the perfect way for you to perfect your knowledge of prefixes. And of course, you can practice your independent learning. So students, are you ready for another tricky tutorial? Are you going to join me to make tricky words less tricky? Okay, let us continue. First, continual, which describes something that happens frequently or regularly. And its cunning counterpoint, continuous, which describes something that happens without interruption or ceasing. Gosh, aren't they tricky? Well, at least they have the good grace to be adjectives. Oh, and great excitement, as some of you will have noticed, both of these words are included in Wonderful Words beginning with C. So take a look at that video after you have finished watching this one for some excellent extension and revision and contextualization. Time now for some fantastic example sentences. So last year, when I was making my Wonderful Words videos, some of you may recall there was quite a lot of building work going on in my local area. And I did reference the continual noise. Subsequently, there were continual demands for silence from the other neighbours, not from me, because I was just too busy making my video tutorials. The builders weren't making continuous noise, however. They weren't working all the time. The noise was continual, just when I wanted to make my video tutorials, it seemed. Okay, so for the next adjective, continuous, which is used to describe things that happen without interruption or ceasing, unlike the noise from the builders, which did occasionally stop before it started again. So, for example, there is a continuous alarm going on in the background. Can you hear it? Oh, let me just turn it off. That's better. There's been continuous rain all morning. Yes, students, I took Dante out this morning and we both got absolutely soaked. In fact, he even had to wear his raincoat. First of all, watch Wonderful Words beginning with C after this tutorial has finished. And then complete the exercises in the Tricky Words Workbook. You can do the first one regardless of whether you have the workbook or not. And don't forget, this is a really good way to remember, which I found in this thesaurus actually. Continual and continuous are not... What's the word beginning with S? The answer is in the workbook. And there you can also find 5 super synonyms for continual. What are they? And 1 amazing antonym for continual. And that's not the end of the fun. Oh no, there's more. Fun continues with 5 super synonyms for continuous and 1 amazing antonym for continuous. Students, you can complete those exercises now if you haven't already, and of course the answers are at the back of the workbook. Oh, and it's a great time to revise prefixes. These two are relatively common, but what about the prefix that begins with N? Do you know what it is? Take a look. And I love these two words, perpetual and persistent, which really exemplify for you the difference between continuous and continual. One of these is a synonym for continuous and the other is a synonym for continual. On, we were going to investigate that noise, weren't we? I wonder if it's still going on. Let me just open the door and see. Hang on. Oh, it's still going on. Shall we go and investigate? Do you want to come with me? Come on, let's go. Yes, it's so loud. Oh, let's go this way. Mystery solved. At least we now know what the noise was and who was snoring. Gosh, does anyone else have a dog that snores quite so loudly? Now, look at your Tricky Words workbook. Look at that page with continual and continuous on. Dante's snoring happened all the way through that video. I was filming and he was, meanwhile, with his legs in the air, snoring away, right the way through. So he wasn't just snoring regularly or frequently, he was snoring all the way through without interruption or ceasing. So was his snoring continual or was it continuous? You must be chomping at the bit by now to watch Wonderful Words beginning with C. And I hope you will agree, for exams, for school, for life. Always fascinating, sometimes tricky. English is amazing.